Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, depending on folks. It's your man, always George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Bobby Talk, coming to you live on YouTube. Well, folks, can you believe it? We're just about 3 days away from Christmas. We got to go through Tuesday, Wednesday, and no, 2 days actually, because Christmas Day is going to be on Thursday. It's kind of funny when you have Christmas so close in the week. Me personally, I love Christmas when it's like closer to the weekend, like maybe a Friday or a Saturday. Not so much when it's like still the week. That's when I was working because I know with a lot of you people, you really want it so close where you don't have to go back to work on Monday. So so folks, this is I'm doing this tribute to a lovely lady. She is a six-time Miss Olympia champion, multiple-time Rising Phoenix champion. To me, she's a woman that kind of brought new life to the sport of women's bodybuilding. When a time when, after right about the mid 2000s, when they got kicked out to Olympia, when it was getting pushed out of shows, she's been stepping up, representing her division. She also is the promoter of the Triple Dynasty, which is coming up next year. It's going to be in April. I think it's the 5th or the 6th. It's going to be the first show for women's bodybuilding to start off the season for us who are fans of women's bodybuilding. There's other divisions, but that's the only one that really matters to me. So, this is the background right there you saw. She really brought a level to bodybuilding that I think deserves the recognition, respect. Last week, I think it was last Thursday, was her birthday. She turned 40. I would say, she's still in her early 40s. I think sometimes you keep up with the age, but I guess sometimes I forget. But if anybody knows, you can put it into the comment section. But respectfully, right here we have here my partner, my ace boon coon here, my young nephew, one Alex here.
She's 42.
42. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. I knew it was
I
right
just want to
there.
help you out there.
Yeah, I appreciate it, son. I appreciate it. So Alex is here, and we both have experiences with. He has been up close and personal with Andrea. I,
Yeah, it's true. I met her like a couple of times already. It was like, like I guess, but yeah.
like you just say nonchalant, like a guest, like. But we're gonna start with Alex. What was that experience like meeting the champ for you?
Oh, I thought she was really nice. I remember like back a couple of years ago, back when the Olympia was being held in Orlando. I was at work that day when they were doing Meet the Olympians. It was actually the first time where I went a bodybuilding event live in person. At the time I was very shy and very nervous about it because I was like, am I sure I'm allowed to be here? Or, it's okay. And, I got to meet Angela, Chelsea, Michaela, who else? Alcyon. But yeah, Andrea was there that night. I have to remember she liked apple pie. I remember going to my local Publix. I actually bought a slice of apple pie. I kept it refrigerated majority of the day till tonight, and after a long wait in line, I got inside and I got to meet her. We had a nice chat and I saw her the following day because I had work when she and the other ladies were competing and yeah, and she yeah, she's pretty. Yeah, she was surprised to see me after a couple years, after going to my first time witnessing the Olympia for the first time in person. It was yeah, we got to meet her mother during the press conference, did see her prejudging, said hello to her, when because Dave was there taking videos at the time. I waited. She was there. I said hi to her there, and then I saw her the following day at at the expo where I had to do a shout out to Michaela because they were close friends at the time. Try to give a shout out to you, George, because you're a huge fan of her.
Well,
Yeah,
thank you,
again,
son. I appreciate that. I appreciate any support I get from it. So, folks, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put up a video. It's if you follow certain sites, says it's the Film Flex Friday. It's hosted by Linda Murray and Wendy Fertino. and I think it's another lady, but it was we used to be Elena Murray and Alina Popa, and they talk about Andrea, and this is what really, as a fan, it's great if we have people like this, especially an 8-time Miss Olympia champion, showing respect to the new Miss Olympia champion, and also a lady in another division that also has been Olympia multiple times, showing also the same respect. So folks are gonna put here. You want to check it out. Ooh, there we go. And where you see? There you go. And it's right here. You go to the Film Flex Friday. Also, they're on the Olympia um, YouTube channel. They do it's like a whole segment for like at least about 9 minutes. They talk about Andrea, but here we have one where they're sitting here talking about her, and they're very impressed by her.
Building. We could technically give every body part to Andrea Shaw because she is so balanced, and even though we're saying her arms are the best arms across the board in every division, she doesn't really have one standout body part because she is so balanced. She has the perfect separation from her bicep to her tricep, the perfect separation from her anterior delt to her bicep, and also the perfect peaks. So there's this roundness, this separation, and all the way around just a beautiful flow that she has to her arms.
Yeah, and I'm going to take it one step further in saying, when I think about the Ms. Olympias from even during my period of time of competing in the 90s and the 2000s, and just her biceps are just incredible. Her arms are incredible because this is about balance.
Here's another one here.
She has the whole package when it comes to her arm development.
She does.
And she's mastered the art of developing her arms and not having them overpower her shoulders.
And you're so on point with that. She genetically, she says, like a lot of times she has to hold back from training her biceps and her triceps because her arms are so amazing and her biceps are just a gift. And that's part of training, right? To know what to not train, overtrain.
Yeah, she is amazing. I mean,
she has the whole package when it comes to her arm development.
She does.
Her overall, Andrea is just an amazing lady. She is, I would say, she's the blueprint for women's bodybuilding. She is the one that she set the standard. When she came to the game, as you know, before she got into the women's bodybuilding division, she actually earned a pro card in women's physique. And that was around about, I think, 2018, at the Olympia, amateur Olympias, and kind of funny, just about 2 years later, she comes back and she becomes the next Miss Olympia. She did have stint in women's physique for a bit, but then she decided to go up to women's bodybuilding. Now, she made her first show was, I believe, was the Omaha Pro, where she won. And then she qualified that year. It was 2019. She qualified for the Rising Phoenix. She was in the top 10 at that show. Then whatever she did, the adjustment she had to make, what she had to do, she come back, turn around, then she wins the show, and next you know, she missed Olympia. That was the year when they announced. 2019 was the next year. That year before, that's when Jake announced that since he bought the Olympia, they were bringing back women's bodybuilding to the Olympia, which was absent from the show for nearly 5 years. Yeah. So anyway, my young princess is my young Padawan is very it's very he's very excited, that, but he's really up on his game. But I say like this: if it wasn't for her, a lot of competitors wouldn't stepped up. They owe a lot to Andrea. People like Ashley Jones, I believe, also I would say Angela Yo. I would say people like Sherry Premier, because one thing is she's not afraid of competition. She doesn't have a problem with sharing stage with other women. This is another video I'm going to pull up, and it's a recap from the Olympia. And we'll talk about her a little bit, because they didn't do. I haven't seen a recap from Tyler Mannion about the Olympia, this year's Olympia, but it's also from the Film Flex, IG page. So you go check it out. No, this is actually, it's they talk about when it's going to be coming on now. That's what I thought was right here. But they do still have some critiques with Andrea. See here, I'm going to pull up here. A lot of competitors here, but you know what? Really, what I should do this is go to the lovely Mrs. Shaw's IG itself, and she posted something. It's something really, I shared it with some competitors, and this is something really y'all should hear.
This is something that I prayed for, something that I hoped for, and the opportunity to actually make it happen is now, right? And it just resets every time I start prep. And so when I think about that, it's like, yeah, I get another opportunity, another chance to really do what it is that makes my heart smile. I can control my effort. I can control what I actually put into it. And that's where I focus my attention.
Yeah, gotta give respect because she's really on her game. Ever since she's been a champion, I mean, she was with John Simmons, and her new coach is the producer. They've been working together for at least since 2024, and when she was getting ready for the 2024 Olympia. That was the 60th anniversary of the Olympia that year. And he really brought her along. I mean, John did good work in the first few years, but I think she needed someone to really work with her and bring her levels up. What you think?
Maybe.
Mm-hmm. Well, as you know, recently she did guest posing at the Steve Carr show. I got to see some of it. It's a nice little pose. Like I said again, this is just barely a month after the Olympia. And even though she seems just a little soft, but she's still in, I would say, great condition. Yeah. So I'm going to play this and play a little some background music if anybody like to hear some. Yeah, she does quite a few posing, guest posing. I know quite a few here and there, some shows. We get to have her on and to show her talent. Here she is with an interview post after.
Right? Are you ready?
Always
ready. We'll always stay ready. Hi, Phoebe Keeney Pro, Lisa Wilburn here at the NPC Steve Carr Classic in beautiful Las Vegas. And I have bodybuilding royalty right here with Miss Andrea Shaw. We're going to call her Miss Six Time. She just took home her 6th Olympia title. Congratulations, babe.
Thank you.
How you feeling?
Amazing.
Right here. What 6 years?
Oh my gosh.
Right?
It still doesn't feel like it's been 6 years.
Wow.
And that's the fun part about it. Like, I still feel very, very enthusiastic about competing and still going.
I mean, your energy that you bring is unmatched. I've gotten a chance to know her on the circuit, working for Wings of Strength.
Yeah,
and
Tampa Pro. We had Tampa Pro like locked down.
Right to Phoenix. Yeah. And you are always so friendly, always so bubbly. Just a delight to be around.
Yeah.
any words of encouragement? A lot of athletes look up to you. So any words of advice, how to get to your level, how to achieve at the highest?
I think you need to make sure that you have a game plan. So I think with a well-laid plan, right, just sit and take some time. Think about what it is that you want to achieve. I like to say, pretend it's December 31st. And you would have to say on that day, it's been an amazing year. What all would need to happen during that year, those 12 months, that would give you that feeling? And then work your way backwards. But you really got to make sure you're thorough in listing down the things because they need to be still reasonably attainable.
Right.
And then once you have the list, then you need to make sure that you have the right team of people that can help you make it happen. Because at that point, then it becomes daily goals, weekly goals, monthly goals. And then before you know it, I mean, we're already almost at December now.
Right.
It happens so fast.
Yes.
But again, once you get dialed into a certain focus, because you've actually listed these things down, then it gives you that extra momentum to just keep going. And so I would definitely advise anyone, if you are feeling unsure, or if you're feeling like a loss of direction, start there. Start with the end in mind, and then work your way backwards to formulate a plan and get the right people to help you execute.
Awesome. So we're going to go 10 titles. We're going to keep going.
We are going to keep going. I mean, I still feel good about it. So
There's no stopping you. You can't be beat.
I love it.
So let's talk about your performance tonight. She gave the most spectacular performance, brought the house down. I mean, how do you even achieve something like that? That was just so jaw-dropping.
Well, I mean, I'm still fresh off of the Olympia win, so that helps.
Yes.
But I think that when I thought about the opportunity of being able to guest host here, I said, you know what? I think it's going to serve more than one purpose.
Yes.
Purpose number one, I get to roll into my improvement season leaner because I knew I was going to be back on stage. So I had a very strategic plan, right, to stay pretty lean leading into this show. And then for Austin to offer women's bodybuilding, that added just the extra level of oomph to it for me because I wanted to be here to support the girls.
Yes.
We all ended up getting a group photo, but I felt like it was very important for our division for him to have us here.
Yes.
And I mean, what a night. The place was packed. It's
Packed
amazing.
house.
I was looking even at prejudging. I'm like, wow, the place, there's not an empty seat in the place.
I mean, we're hitting show 35 here for the Steve
Amazing.
Carr
And you got one
Classic.
more next week.
Yes, girl.
Amazing.
I mean, it is just amazing to have such a big name for you to show up to this show. I think you spoke a little bit about what brought you here and having women's bodybuilding, making such a big statement to be back. What do you see for women's bodybuilding in the future?
I definitely see them back at the Steve Carr Classic.
Yes.
And I told Steve, I definitely want to be here to support the girls next year. But I feel like it's headed now in a good direction because for Steve to have the second biggest show, even compared to my show, I had 8 girls, but to crank out 11 and then 3 unfortunately weren't able to make it. This says a lot.
It does.
Post Olympia, this says a lot that, there's still a lot of interest in the division and support for the division.
Yes.
So to you guys, Steve, I can't thank you enough. Truly.
Well, it's amazing having you here. I know we're all so grateful that you're here, and the audience is so happy to see you. Andrea Shaw, we're going to see her go for that 7th title next year.
Yes, right here in Las Vegas.
Yes. Thanks so much.
She's just a wonderful person. Like I said again,
And she is. She is.
Yeah.
I can tell.
I can't help be a fan. I know some of the guys who fall say, "Hey, George, yeah, you're a fan of this girl, right? Yeah. But guys, if you this is like, I got to bring out something. And there's days when doing this content, it can be frustrating, especially try to reach out to the ladies. Hey, come on, let's talk. I'm not weird or anything. I might be a little crazy, but I'm not weird. But this still goes back to a friend of ours, the lovely Miss Eunice Martinez Kitchens, when was it about 3 years ago? And it was when she went to the Olympia when it was still in Orlando that last time. And then she did this issue almost. I know it's a little frayed in the sides, it's a little worded out because I hug it and love it so much. This issue, this is one of the last print issues of Muscle Development. They now have gone on to being more online. Most magazines are going that way. The day of print is dying, even newspapers. But this is the last issue. This is the first time they really had a female bodybuilder on the cover in years. Most times they did have them. They usually be with another guy, or that's usually it. But never really have them solo. And this is when after she got her that's about her third or fourth title. And Eunice saw her, and it was, she talked to her, and then she had this magazine with her, and she signed it. Anytime I do an interview, I pull this magazine out, tell them, hey, if you can, I feel like this is like, you can trust me. If someone like Andrea Shaw, she takes time and tells me, she says, George, you are the best. Your support means the world to me. See you soon, and sending you love, Andrea Shaw. That's something that really, and I always want to give a shout out to you for that, because this is what keeps me motivated doing this content, talking about you ladies, because it can be a lot.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Brought a little something too for the occasion. I saw her at the expo, and when I was trying to give the shout out to you and Michaela, I did buy a copy of the card, and I asked, she signed it.
Yeah, because that's a signature. Because that confirms, like, to all those to all those haters, because you can tell that's her signature. You can tell it. You can tell. So y'all don't get no reason to say that I got. So nah. To you haters, he has evidence. I got evidence. So that's nothing you can say. So she's one of, I would say, one of the few ladies in the sport who is sponsored. That's one thing. It's hard to be a female bodybuilder and to be sponsored. And she's been with Mutation for a long time. That's the company that's been sponsoring her bodybuilding career. She often also does interviews and stuff with Mutation. So I'm gonna pull this interview she did, and also a couple others she did recently with Mutation. So here we go.
Boundaries is a huge aspect of this lifestyle. So learning how to set boundaries with family, with friends, with fans, that's been a huge part of, and speaking up about it, of the journey. So I think that without bodybuilding, it almost forces you to take a look at those things and say, okay, how am I going to make sure that I'm moving in a way that serves the goal, but still puts me in a position to be fruitful and prosperous in what's important over here. Because at the end of the day, I see that some people totally disregard like relationships, and that's not, I think, what bodybuilding should be inclusive of. So when I say that, I mean, some people say, oh, bodybuilding is a selfish sport. In some aspects, yes, it is, but it shouldn't be selfish to a point where your family and friends don't understand. I got to step away for 4 months. I'm going to plan things for us to do when I come out of prep, and we're going to enjoy that time. But for now, I need to focus here, and I need you to support me in this way. See, that's simple communication, but I think that some people just don't take the time to think those things through and to convey that message to their family and their friends. Boundaries is a huge aspect of.
So as you know, she is a Mutation sponsored athlete. She's been sponsored with them for the last, I think, 3 or 4 years. Mutation is a supplement company. They sponsor quite a few other competitors like Sean Corrido, who was a multiple-time 212 champion. Also, they recently picked up Lola Montez. Yeah, we got here Rania, and she's sponsored by it. I think she just announced that she might be making her she already made a pro debut at Tampa, but she's going to make another one at Chicago. Here's
I didn't meet her at the expo. She told me she was planning to do the Triple O this coming year.
Oh, yeah. So she must be doing both shows. So here we go, right here with another interview with
training and working out with everybody. I mean, looking back over my first Miss Olympia win, I would probably say that the the biggest part of that moment that stands out in my mind is I still feel as though it was a gift that God gave me because it was on my birthday. So it was like, I can't explain it. Like all the days that it could have been on, it was like the best birthday present ever. And it just, as you can tell, I still get very emotional about it because it's almost like unbelievable. And I stared at having I used to do these cutouts for my dream board. So I used to stare at having an Olympia gold medal for like months and days and weeks. And to have it happen on my birthday of all days in the year, during the year that the world was crazy, joy, just joy. I just want to share my joy with training and working out with everybody.
Well, we thank you for sharing that with us, Miss Shaw. Your accomplishments are amazing. What you have contributed to the sport, as you know, she is a sponsored athlete with Mutation. So if you're a company may want to use this product, if you like I say again, if some bodybuilding level competitors, especially Olympic level competitors, use this product, I think it's the product just check it out. I'm not no expert on this stuff, but I'm a fan of Andrea, and I think she really has brought a lot to the sport that us fans really respect. So the big question is now she is 8-time champion, no 6-time champion. What is her future is going to be like? What's next for her? I mean, will she break the record that's held by someone like Iris Kyle? We got here some comments here. Whoa, I've been so busy. I get to get comments here. Here we have his guy named Joker Speaks. Shh. Okay, whatever. Also, we have him McKay. He says, "Hey, what's going on? Not much, brother." Also, we have here. He says, "Happy Andrea Shaw Day." Thank you, brother. Appreciate that.
Really?
He says this.
Why can't it just be on her birthday? It could have been just on her birthday. No, I'm not going to make him. I wasn't making him jealous. We respect each other. Just because I met her, I don't rub it in people's faces.
You know how it is. He likes to talk shit. Also, he says, Alex, you should ask Andrea for a date with the apple pie you gave her. Hey,
I'm not interested in date. No, I'm not interested in dating her.
Don't you give her no ideas. Don't you give her no ideas.
Don't worry. She and I are fine. We're
okay. He says she has 18 biceps, about that big. And he says, how far do you think Andrea could do another Olympia? Well, like I said, she's 42 this year, and she either going to try to tie or break Iris Kyle records. That means she needs at least 5 Olympias, and that will put her up to around about nearly 50. It's all depending on how long she wants to go. Maybe she might shut it down after 8, maybe tie with people like Ronnie Coleman and Lee Haney and Linda. That's a possibility. Here you go. Here, my man says, Alex, you should do an animation on Andrea flexing or something.
Oh, that's a tall order. As much as I like to do it, I think, well, since she's sponsored by, Beauty Nation, I don't think they will allow her image to be used.
His thing is, it's not like you're putting, it's more like you're making art designs. Like no different when you make a picture. It's nothing fancy. You don't have to be anything big time. You can just create something and just post it. And you can tag in it. You can either share it or not share it. Mutation's not gonna worry about it because she's a public figure. That thing is a lot of stuff when it's not like it's like Disney. Like if she was like a Disney brand or something like that, they're gonna take it. Hey, you can't do that. Like a while back, me and KL, we had a little get together. We're talking about the Hercules, the old Greek mythology of Hercules, and he played some clips from Hercules the movie. You got careful. Anything that's Disney, they don't want nobody to say because it's copyright. Yeah. But if you feel like something you want to do, or do about with anybody else, it doesn't matter to be Andrea. Anybody feel like you want to do some little animation, that's up to you.
I mean, I did a couple in the past. I mean, it wouldn't hurt to try another athlete. As long as I get their permission.
Well, yeah, most of the time, you can get the permission. You can create it, send it to them, see what they think, and then, if they don't want to share it, don't have to share it. But like I said, this thing is, a lot of these women don't get enough public attention because, it's like I said, it's a lot of scrutiny when it comes down to women in the sport of bodybuilding. Here I'm gonna pull up go back to her IG, and I'm gonna share a little stuff here. This year she went back to the Rising Phoenix. She lost the title to Angela Yo last year, even though the title is no longer as important like it was because Jake has changed the aspect of the Rising Phoenix where it's more silly. It's always been an Olympic qualification show, but as long as you have the Miss Olympia and anybody who's already qualified Olympia there, you're not gonna get to Olympia. So here she is. I think it was a suits. They're doing this is her suit. It's a nice little suit design. I think it's by the Bikini Designer Studios, which does her suit, her jewelry. Nice color, nice style. She also works with Bikini Labs. They also help promote the Triple O Dynasty. Here she is.
It was also it was also on her mother's birthday when she won that day.
Yeah, and here's a nice little video of her, nice little slow motion. And I'm telling you, this woman has an amazing body. This is from the Olympia. I mean, her condition is just on point. Her back, I just think there's nothing more she can do. I think, other than just to maintain this level of muscle, it's not a lot she can do more. I mean, again, I say like this, she's perfect.
Yeah, I think it's mainly because of her coach, or her new coach. Like, why she couldn't, why she was placed second last year at the Rising Phoenix, and you remember what happened.
Yeah, we all know Angela won that year, Angela Yo, and she decided to whatever she usually. This is what somebody told me. When Andrea's on, she's on, and I felt that she probably was just a little bit off, just a tiny bit, not so much, but my guess she got so comfortable that she won this title so many times that I think she just kind of just came in and kind of spammed it a little bit. She was good enough, but not so good. And also, I would say this: there was a different judge at the time because usually St. Winston judges the show, and they had somebody else judging it that year. Maybe the judge saw something. I know I sound like I'm talking like sour grapes. It's like when you watch your favorite fighter lose, and you have the excuses, but it's just being a fan. You don't like to see anybody that you're a fan of lose in something that they had dominated for such a long time. But like I said, I'm a fan.
Yep.
Yeah. So, folks, I'm going to dip more. I know I was hoping to have some more guests on here. Everybody else is. I know they got lives, they're busy, yada yada. But Andrea, has done a lot. As you know, her and Sid Gillen have been working together the past couple of years now, where they established the Triple O Dynasty. And Triple O is one of the few shows where they give opportunity for women's bodybuilding. Most of the time, there's not that many shows. This year, just as you know, just recently saw that the Vancouver Island show is not going to have women's bodybuilding. They decided to drop it. Not just women's bodybuilding, but also physique and wellness. But her and Sydney have been, putting up good works, sticking together, just giving opportunity where not a lot of women have that chance. It's the Triple O is also excuse me, okay, it's also a regional show which qualifies competitors for nationals. But as you know, the regional plan was her, Sydney, and Whitney Jones. Now Whitney has stepped out of it. now just Sydney and Andrea. These two ladies are the top of the game. You know, uh, there's not much I can say. I just, like again, this is a great show. I try to catch it every year. Maybe someday, if my funds are right, I would like to, go out there and check it out.
Yeah, me too. I would like to get better watch in person.
Yeah, yeah. Well, like I said, also great to meet her in person. I know David's been around her a couple of times. I love David. He's my brother. But I get how I get sometimes. I get kind of jealous, possessive. There's amazing ladies here that compete at the show. This year, Chelsea Dion won the overall title. No, actually, no. Chelsea didn't win. I'm sorry. That was Salika that won.
Salika won the triple O
Yeah,
this year.
yeah, and she also won the Masters because they also do 40 plus at the triple O. I love this. She looks great. Black is her color. I just and I think this is a show, ladies. I know some say it's a little too early for me, but do the show and get it out of the way. You know, I had the pleasure of talking to Yana Flex a little bit right after she did a show. I would love to get Salika on. People like I met Chelsea, and I'd love to interview someone like Mila Ash. But again, folks, I can't make them come on here. It's up to them if they want to come on here and talk about themselves. So yeah. So, well, like I said, I was hoping to have. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea to talk about her. I thought, just to give a tribute to her, to who she is.
I was expecting at least a guest or two to show up here, and this is like I was the only one I was able to volunteer for this tribute.
Well, I appreciate you volunteering because the fact is, I know a lot of people are busy. They get their lives, they got things to do. It's close to the holidays.
Yeah, true. That is true.
Yeah. But like I said again, she doesn't get enough support. And especially within the NPC, I would say not so with the NPC, IVB. I would say this lady, needs to be put on a pedestal. I'm gonna say it, yeah. She is right now she's the top of the bodybuilding world. One thing she needs to do is also put herself out there a little more. I would say reach out to if you can get a publicist and help you reach out to some mainstream media, like ESPN. Back in the day, used to do show body competitions. I would say see if you can get an interview. I mean, you're or something. I mean, it's just like I said. Some of these women have to get themselves out there because you don't, no one's going to pay attention to you. Yes, you're going to have those people who have an issue with women with muscle. They might have comments like that, but you know what? There's fans like myself who want to see more for you in this sport. Opportunity, money, recognition, maybe even some little celebrity status.
And I'm surprised the SPN is now allowing anything to be as a competitive sport. I mean, what have I'm hearing now? Bubble gum blowing? Really? Are you kidding me? How is that even close to a sport? That's just come on, really?
It's not much of a sport. It's mostly because what it is, it's you have a big company backing them. I think it's which company? It's like one of the big bubblegum companies that back them, and and people. It's like this is something that anybody, anytime Dick Harry can do. Just go out on stage and chew bubblegum and blow bubbles. But what these bodybuilders do, from people like Andrea Shaw, people like Sid's, people like so many others, like who are top of the level of the sport, they train, they work out, there's a lot more to it what they do compared to what the everyday person does. I mean, and some people are not as committed to a sport like that. It's easier just to chew bubble gum than to train, to work out, to diet, to stay consistent. It's And like I said again, we could say this, and this, and that, but we know that bodybuilding, because the one thing about it is because the issue of the use of performance enhancers, from steroids to PEDs to peptides, always people are going to point that finger to it because it's such a extreme sport.
Yeah. Not sure.
This is Johnny Styles. You're at the 20.
Mm-hmm. Well, I found this video here. I think I'm going to, share it with y'all. If y'all want to see it, give me a second. I'm going to pull it up here. It's a little interview she did. And, just to burn some time because, I was hoping to get more people on here and do a little conversation and have a little back and forth and talk about experiences. But I said again, I can't make people do what I want to do. I can only do what I can do. So it's an interview she did with, I think, a guy. His name Johnny Styles. He works for Insider Bodybuilder, and it's a magazine. And I want to share this amazing story about, and she shares her life and her experiences in bodybuilding.
I'm world heavyweight champ of the world. How does that sound?
Amazing.
Listen, last night people were asking, is this time even sweeter than the first? I think it does because your shape and structure is very different since that very first win. You seeing yourself at the mirror now, what is the main difference between you see that girl 6 years ago and look at her now?
She's definitely much more confident with the conditioning and the posing, because now there's been a level of getting to know her body and what it feels like to move in that body as a bodybuilder,
right.
A full-on bodybuilder, not a former women's physique competitor, but a full-on owning of the bodybuilding, right? And the conditioning for me this particular time was just, I knew it was on.
You mentioned boot camp. You mentioned that. When you talk about boot camp, it's people think you're a genetic freak, which you are. What does a boot camp mean to this type of conditioning? Because to this day, people still doubt if Andrea Shaw is going to come in condition. We know you have the size, the structure, the whole 9 yards, but you come in, your glutes, your hamstrings are all diced. What does that mean when you say boot camp?
So boot camp really is just a way to put a label on the experience of going almost completely off the radar, almost, not completely, and really dialing in your focus on a daily basis of only things that are related to the goal of getting on that stage. And to an extreme almost. The phone gets put on do not disturb. There's limited social media,
Wow.
There's limited everything unless it is directly pertaining to one out of 3 or 4 things. Eat, sleep, train, you keep it, and pose. It's literally that.
So you're living.
And it's literally you eat, breathe, and sleep it, and nothing else really social is going to be allowed to be in the calendar.
Right. So if you're hearing that from Miss Olympia, that's something that people have to take into consideration. People think it's your number one in the world. You just back off a little bit. You really don't back off. Now, if you see this package now, you see the whole structure in your body. Is there anything that you would like to add as a perfectionist that you would think, you know what, maybe a little bit of this, a little bit of that?
Oh, I already started just this morning and last night.
Really?
Oops.
We were watching videos at dinner and I'm like, I could have done this better. I want to work on this pose. When I present this, I want to watch my hands and where they are. I'm right next to Sydney, my posing coach. So I'm definitely nitpicking a lot. And then I just want to have some roundtable with my coach. I would like to add maybe a little more size to my glutes. I love having glutes.
Oh my goodness.
No,
You're
right?
the godfather of wellness here. You know better.
I know.
I approve.
I love glutes though. They're like the calling card of a good solid routine, right? And I think that, again, I would love to continue to work on getting my midsection as tight, small as I can. So I think, again, the real calling card is always making sure that size is great. Symmetry is paramount. Symmetry needs to be there because shape and flow is something that's really like a calling card of mine. So I really want to work on those things, posing and presenting even more symmetry.
I want to keep asking the question that nobody asked you. Like, you're very confident on stage.
Yes.
We know that for a fact. Is there a favorite pose when you're up there doing mandatories that you feel more confident that I got this pose and nobody else has it?
Yes, a few
Give
of
me
them.
two.
Any of the side shots, And I would definitely have to say
rear double bicep. Seeing that those are your poses, is there one pose that you want to say for next year, I'm going to be better at this pose? Think about it. There's got to be one pose. I think this pose is even better for next year.
It's between my rear lat spread and my ab and thigh shot. Ooh. Those are the two. So I got those. That was one of the ones I nitpicked on last night.
You have millions of fans all around the world. Many girls that do follow you and they cherish what you do. What's a very special message that you carry on as a champion to all the people watching you at home?
I would definitely say don't be afraid to take leaps of faith. When you have something that's been scratching at you a little bit, when you have something that's like, it just won't leave you, right? That's your sign. I had that experience with competing. So I went on to explore being in real estate. I got my real estate license. I became a mortgage loan originator. So I worked in finance, but I always came back to training. I would be sitting at the desk job, daydreaming about being at the gym. Wow. And I knew, and I said, this is great. I can make a lot of money, but I'm not happy. And so I knew, I said, as much as I want to stay here and make the money, I got to go pursue what's really in my heart. So whatever that thing is, you got to go and pursue it. And whatever that step is you need to take, do it. Don't wait, because I promise you, as soon as you take the step, everything and everyone that you need is going to come forward.
Amazing. Yeah. Holy moly. From Miss Olympia, do calves matter?
Calves definitely matter.
Absolutely. Definitely from Miss Olympia, you heard it here. 6-time world champ, Andrea Shaw. We will see her defend her title, not once, not twice, pretty much 10, 11 times. I'll call it right, can see it. Andrea, this is Johnny Styles, Muscle Insider.
That I say, this is why, again, I'm a fan of this lady. What she has done in the last 5 years since she became champion, she's really brought something to the sport that was really needed. A fresh look. I know one point everybody was, one thing people was like talking about, Iris Kyle. The thing was, Iris was at the top level, and also the thing is that when you're the judges and you feel like you don't have an issue with her, hey, you could have had get tied to somebody else, but you went because you like the quality of her muscle. But this is the next generation. That's what Andrea is. We have here some comments. Shout out to man KL. He's sitting in the booth. He can't be here today. He got to go to work. Says Andrea should have come to the party. I wish, but you know what? Yeah, she's busy, so I can't. Also, I could picture being in a Gatorade commercial. Sometimes I dream she could see. She means the world to me. All right, that's the thing is. But yeah, I think this is a person. Wait, Alex, give me right back a second. This is a lady that really, again, she puts in the time, put in the work. She's very humble. Her story, because she remembers the story how when she was young, her father passed away, and it's been for the last few years, her and her mother, and and then she competed for a good while, took a step back, and she was working in the financial industry for a good while, and then she find that what, it's just I was making money, but and that's the thing is her business sense that really helps. Bringing that into bodybuilding, how she's set up the Triple O dynasty, her and Sid, and they both understand the business part of bodybuilding.
Yeah, I really think her mother, if it wasn't for her mother, Andrea wouldn't be here. She wouldn't become the person she is today. I mean, we have to give a lot of thanks to Mrs. Shaw. She really, really motivated her daughter to become the legend who she became. I really enjoyed the backstory of how she got into it at the beginning. Like, as someone who didn't want to do it, but after thinking about it for a while, I think, I'll give it a try, and look where she is now.
Yeah, she's
had to go for a couple of class changes from figure to physique and to bodybuilding. I think that was the right journey for her. She really took her time. I do admire what the journey she took. I really do appreciate it.
Yeah, because you know what? Anybody who gets in sport and understand all that's involved in it, from the work, from the focus, it takes a lot. Anybody who gets into it and invest their time, their body, their money, into something where if you're lucky enough, you can do pretty good. You can make a living from it. But is it just about making a living or bringing something to the world that it's just bringing something to the world? I mean, well, guys, like I said, again, we're gonna be here too much longer. I do appreciate the people that came through and give their comments and the support. Um, I would say, you know what? I don't know, she'll never hear this from me. I'm gonna say to you, Miss Shaw, you are an amazing lady, and how much you have contributed to the sport, how much you have really, really inspired other people, not just women but men too. There's guys out there who are fans, like myself, are fans of yours. We're impressed by your humbleness, your dedication, your determination, your hard work and focus. I mean, so much about you that there's nothing to say. Well, I got a little clip here. We'll play it. It's from it's for the guys. They work for the Olympia. They have their own little. I forgot who it was. I think it's Chris Camille and Tyreek. They often come on and they talk about bodybuilding. But this is from, I think it's from the here.
2 years in the sport. Since Jake Wood took the helm, he's a huge fan and a supporter of women's bodybuilding. And it wasn't on the main stage at the Olympia. It's back. The Rising Phoenix is getting bigger and better than ever. So I really feel like we're seeing that resurgence of women's bodybuilding, and having that icon at the top right now in Andrea Shaw has played a big role. Do you think?
Yes, Andrea Shaw is a great ambassador for female bodybuilding. She's actually what female bodybuilding is all about. She has the femininity. She is very outspoken. She is great with fans, and she has a great physique that always helps.
One of the things that's been amazing the last few years in the sport.
That's from Primetime Muscle. They work with the Olympia TV. You can go check that out. They really. That's from Dennis James, Mr. Olympia, for Mr. Olympia himself, and also he also promotes the new show in Germany. Here we got, this is from Sweetland, what it says, great video, all the ways, George Page, keep up the amazing work. Thank you, brother. Also, this is from a man, Job Sipke, says,
Hey,
what's good, George and Alex? What's good with you, brother? And also, this is a question from KL. He says, what you planning to do for Christmas, Alex?
Well, I'm thinking of spending a couple days with my mother tomorrow. If it's okay. I mean, we just visited my uncle's the other day because my brother had to work for Christmas. So he thought, hey, why just see him a little early? So we even exchanged our gifts a little earlier, just in case something happens. But we'll see how. I wouldn't mind spending a couple more days with my family. I think that's what truly matters around holidays.
Yeah, because we every year when my mom was around, my brothers and sisters would come here for Christmas. My mom would be cooking, cutting up things, get little presents here and there. The youngins would be running around. Now the youngins got youngins, and I'm probably gonna go. My sister, she stays like a good ways from, not too far away. She's like the next street over, and I'm she was over here this afternoon, and she's gonna be planning cooking on Christmas. And my sister cooks pretty good. I think I might fix something and bring it with me. It's always every Christmas or most holidays I try to cook something because I want to contribute to the Christmas dinner. And I'm thinking I think I might do something with corn, some veggies and stuff like that. Maybe some sausage. It's something like I'm thinking about. I just got to put it together.
Yep. Okay.
So, like I said, I'm going to say it too much longer. I know. Again, I can't expect everybody to come when I want them to come when you feel like you can come. But I do appreciate Alex for coming through. I appreciate KL for commenting. I do appreciate some of the other people that were here making comments. But also, I'm gonna say this, Andrea Shaw, you are the champ. You're undisputed. I mean, you have brought so much to the sport that I don't know. You could possibly surpass the people who we see now in the past that really contribute to sport. Especially when it comes to attention, recognition, work, commitment. Um, it's not much more I can say. I think you're a beautiful woman. I think you're a great person. And someday, maybe, if God willing, I'd like to meet you. I like to, and just get your thoughts on what really drives you to do what you do. To stay consistent, stay determined, to stay disciplined. Where things can happen and you just don't know how the next day is going to be.
To quote from what I wrote
So,
for her
you have anything to say?
Yeah, to quote what I wrote for her on her, what I wrote to her on her birthday: "You are a kind, hardworking, and inspirational individual to women's bodybuilding." I'm glad I got to meet her. Got to see her compete this year, and I'm hoping she keeps up the great work. She's really making women's bodybuilding great again. She may not be my all-time favorite, but she's really helping bringing the legacy back. Like what the past, like Linda Murray and Corey Everson have done in the past. I'm really glad she's helping keeping the sport alive and inspiring a lot of ladies to follow in her footsteps.
Yeah, a lot of ladies owe the opportunities, stepping up from other divisions and coming up to women's bodybuilding. Great opportunities there. Maybe more women can take a page from Andrea and realize that, hey, there is a future in this division. You just got to be willing and wanting to step up and take that chance. That's about life. It's always going to be a chance you got to take. Folks, I appreciate the ones who did come here and support this live. Next Monday will be the last MuscleTalk Monday for 2025. We're gonna have a little just a fanboy thing, So if you want to come in, we're gonna talk about ladies in the sport. It can be not just women's bodybuilding, physique, figure. You can say wellness, bikini. Whoever you are a fan of, you want to talk about and say, hey, what's the what they had done this year, or what do you want to see from them from next year. Come join us. We just, end of the year conversation, just shooting some stuff and and see how how it flies. But again, I like to appreciate the people who did come here. My man KL the Wanderer. Gotta give a shout out to him. He's been sitting in, supporting me in this content for quite some time. I'd like to give a shout out to Josh Simpkins. He's been here. So here's Josh. He says this. Shout out to Josh. He says, shout out to Andrea. Thank you, Josh. Thank you, Sweetland 1001 for coming through. Folks, this is for me doing this content. It's a joy for me. It's something that keeps me busy, keeps my mind busy. Not much else to do. Like ever since my mom passed, it's really just been me. But talking about people like Andrea and people like Sid Gillen and women like Angela Yo and so many others. Also, today. Well, actually, it's today is the birthday of a lady who I interviewed a while back. Really cool lady.
Yeah,
Tracy
Tracy. Oh yeah,
Gile.
Tracy Gill. I almost
She's been a
forgot.
guest
Yes,
a couple
happy
of times
birthday,
on my.
Tracy.
Yeah, today is her birthday, so happy birthday, Tracy. Hope her and her husband are celebrating it, enjoying it. Also, yesterday was a birthday for a lady I just interviewed, Morgan Peters. Happy birthday to Morgan. Ladies, I would say thank you for taking time out and talking with me on my channel. And Andrea, I hope we get the opportunity to talk with you in the future. So, you got anything to say before we go out, brother?
First up, maybe we should try this more often. Do a tribute to some legendary athletes. I I think it's the first time you ever did something like this, George, since you talk about it all the time. Well, I don't know. I'll talk about another bodybuilder or another
Well,
physique.
I've done a couple before. I just hadn't done it in a while. I mean, I think, well, you know what? I can, go back and do it. It just got to be, like I said, I gotta really need people who really want to be involved in it. Because sometimes people don't, like not a lot of people are biggest fans when it comes to some of these competitors, but I enjoy talking about people like Andrea and also the ladies in sport.
Yeah, but for generally speaking,
So
I would
anyway,
like to say just want to say Merry Christmas, everybody. I hope you enjoy your week.
Well, Merry Christmas from me too. Like Alex is a Tiny Tim. Merry Christmas, one and all.
God bless us, everyone.
That's a classic.
Love a Christmas Carol.
So, folks, yeah, I like the one I grew up with was the one with Albert Finney. There's so many
Mickey
others.
Mouse is my introduction. The Muppets is a pretty good one. The Jim Carrey version. There's a lot of adaptations. That's something for a different topic one day.
Yeah, I even there's one with Patrick Stewart. He plays Scrooge. I mean, wow, that's Captain Picard, Professor X being Scrooge. There's even some female versions of it too. I think even Cissy Tyson did one. She's Mrs. Scrooge, and there's the one that's really comical. The Bill Murray Scrooged.
Yeah, check that version out.
Yeah, it's just classic. So, folks, again, I thank the guests that were here, my man KL the Wonder. Shout out Josh Simpkins. Shout out to Sweetland. All you who watch this live, thank you. Support, reach out to genuine interest, show respect to Andrea Shaw. And guys, that's my girl. If anybody sends some strange shit to her, we're gonna have a problem. Got a problem with me, son, with me. All right. So, folks, me to you. This is George Page, Auto Rage, aka the Emperor of Human Body Talk. Don't like, subscribe. I'm out. Good night, good luck, and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.